In the shimmering heat of Honolulu, where the Pacific breeze dances through palm trees and secrets lie buried beneath paradise, a man named Benjamin Pierce Bishop led a double life. To his neighbors, he was a respected military veteran and defense contractor, a man who had served his country with honor. But beneath that calm exterior, behind those carefully trimmed uniforms and crisp salutes, lived a secret so dangerous it would shake the very foundations of national trust. Bishop wasn't just any contractor. With over 2 decades of experience in the U.S. military and a high-level security clearance, he had access to some of the nation's most guarded secrets. Everything from nuclear strategy to missile defense systems in the Pacific. He worked on sensitive projects that involved both current operations and future plans. In the war rooms of America's defense infrastructure, Bishop was a trusted name. But trust, as it turned out, was a currency he was willing to trade. Her name was Shai. At least, that's what she told him. A Chinese national, nearly 30 years younger than Bishop, who claimed to be a graduate student with an interest in international relations. They met at a conference in Hawaii. She approached him first, asked insightful questions, laughed at his jokes, and seemed genuinely fascinated by his world. He was flattered, then captivated, then compromised. Their relationship moved fast, from emails to late-night conversations, to romantic dinners in dimly lit restaurants where laughter mingled with discussions of policy. What started as innocent dialogue quickly escalated. She began to probe, softly, carefully, about his work. Bishop, eager to impress and intoxicated by the attention, began to reveal things he never should have. Not all at once, not directly. He was smarter than that. But over time, he disclosed classified information about U.S. nuclear strategies, early warning radar systems, and the vulnerabilities of military assets. He'd send her emails with coded language, leave USB drives in secret locations, even slide documents folded inside books during their private rendezvous. Sometimes it happened in his car, parked on a secluded beach. Sometimes in hotel rooms, where pillows still held the scent of betrayal. Once, he even drew her a map, by hand, showing missile defense positions in the Pacific. "Just so you understand how serious this all is," he whispered. But someone else was watching. The FBI had been monitoring Bishop for months. Anomalies in communication logs had raised red flags. He was using encrypted channels that weren't authorized for his clearance level. He took unapproved detours during his lunch breaks. Surveillance footage from the facility's parking garage showed him handing off what appeared to be sealed manila envelopes to someone waiting in a black sedan. And then there were the calls. Hours-long international calls routed through proxies, deliberately bounced off third-party relays. His behavior had changed too. One of his colleagues, an observant analyst, flagged him to security after noticing his hands trembled slightly when he typed. His speech became more cautious, and he had started locking his office door at odd hours. He showed up to work looking exhausted, wore sunglasses indoors, and was once spotted having a heated exchange in a parking lot late at night. Agents followed him for weeks. They tracked him to cafes, to beachside meetings, to parking lots and bookstores. They installed hidden cameras in his office and bugged his car. What they saw confirmed their worst fears. Bishop was compromising national security, not in exchange for millions, but for love. Or what he believed was love. Eventually, they had enough. In March 2013, Benjamin Bishop was arrested in Hawaii. The charges were clear: willful communication of national defense information to a foreign national. He stood accused of betraying the country he once swore to protect. His wife filed for divorce the same week. In court, Bishop tried to claim it wasn't espionage, it was love. But the prosecutors painted a darker picture. A man who had everything, yet gave it away for validation. A man who jeopardized lives, not for ideology or money, but for lust and loneliness. He was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. And that's where the headlines stopped. But not the story. Today, Bishop walks free. At least in the legal sense. But he lives in a different kind of prison now. Gone are the uniforms, the respect, the morning salutes. He rents a 1-bedroom unit far from the city. He no longer attends military reunions. Most of his former colleagues have blocked his number. He tried to rebuild, applied for jobs. No one would touch him. Too risky, they'd say. Even grocery stores hesitated when they saw the name. He once tried to drive for a rideshare service. Banned. Tried to teach night classes. Rejected. He changed his appearance, even grew a beard. Nothing worked. He reached out to family. Silence. Old friends. They ghosted him. He lives alone now, walking the streets with his head down. When asked about his past, he lies. Tells strangers he was a pilot, retired early. Some believe him, most don't care. But he cares. Because every night the ghosts return. He hears voices. His ex-wife shouting in the courtroom. The judge's gavel echoing. The words traitor and betrayal haunt his sleep. And in the darkest hours he hears her, the woman who started it all. Her laughter, her questions, her smile. "You're the only one who understands me," she once said. He mutters back, "You never loved me." And the truth is, she probably didn't. No one knows where she is now. She disappeared after his arrest. Some say she returned to China, received honors. Others believe she was never a student at all, just an agent trained to manipulate. But Bishop, he remains. A name in a file, a lesson in a textbook, a warning whispered in briefing rooms. Because not all spies look like villains. Sometimes they look like neighbors, like veterans, like lovers. Benjamin Pierce Bishop was not a monster. He was a man. A lonely, broken man who let his guard down and lost everything. And in the end, the betrayal wasn't just of a nation, it was of himself. The fall of Benjamin Bishop is a reminder that loyalty isn't just about codes and clearances, it's about character. And when character collapses, no amount of rank or medals can rebuild what's lost. His story fades now, a cautionary tale swept under the rug of history. But for those who still serve, who still guard the gates of national security, his name remains a shadow. A quiet reminder of what happens when a man trades duty for desire and honor for a lie. And if you found this story shocking, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. There are more untold stories of espionage coming your way. Stay vigilant, stay sharp. Until next time.